Howdy, folks. Sapper here, aka Sean, and here we go. We've kicked it off. I'm standing kind of far back right now because the uh, the glare on some of the stuff is rather annoying. But so the Soviets won the initiative, which really isn't like necessarily the Americans have the advantage. Soviets won the initiative, which was actually very unusual. The Americans rolled poorly. But honestly, turn one, it really doesn't matter a whole lot. It's not like a game breaker. Later on, initiative will be a pretty big deal. But so the Americans, they're not doing anything, and as you can see, basically all along the line. So that's everybody's got an Overwatch token. So this is Ryan's platoon. And rather than put an Overwatch token on everybody, I just put the one token to represent everybody in the platoon has an Overwatch. And then we've got, I don't think anybody, no, I don't think I assigned the headquarters. This is the headquarters platoon right here. I didn't assign that to anybody. And then we've got Gary's platoon right here. So, I don't know. I'd have to find out which is which, but we basically have Darkwing, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So we've got all these four. So they have Overwatch tokens, and you can see they're kind of overwatching right there. And then, oh, by the way, let me show you. So Ryan did give me a list of names for his guys right here. So we have this tank platoon. So the platoon's name is the Pale Riders, and then you've got each vehicle. So we have Skeletor, Evil Ash, the Jolly Roger, the Witch King, and then the two tow missile tracks are the White and the Ghoul. So there we go. So those guys are. And then, of course, Tank 140 is Skeletor, 141 is Evil Ash, 142, and then so on and so forth. And then here we've got Gary's platoon. So the Darkwing is 200. Huey is 201. Dewey is 202. And then 203 is Louie. So let's see if we can figure out. Let's go back over here. So that stupid glare, dude, is the worst. So Huey, Dewey, Louie. So I think this is Louie. This is Dewey. No, there we go. So Darkwing. Oh, let me get that right there. Darkwing. And then we've got Huey. Then we've got Dewey. And then we've got Louie right there. And then let's see. Who did we have? 140. 140. So that's Skeletor. And then I don't remember the other ones, but we'll assume Ryan's in that one right there. So there's Skeletor. All right. So anyway, moving on. Let's get to where we've got some of the action. So we've got these two platoons. They moved. All right. And you can see the arrows kind of where they started and where they ended up. And then if they were spotted because of movement, I put that marker. So this platoon has been spotted by Gary's platoon. And then Rob, stupid light. All right. So Rob, you can kind of see, let's see here. And the orange cubes too. So this is where basically your guys moved right here, Rob. I'm I think I'm trying to get them over to here into this wood line right here. So that'll provide them a little bit of cover, and it'll also provide them, it'll make it a little harder to spot. I haven't looked at the chart to see exactly how hard it'll make them spottable, but there you have it. So here's the headquarters platoon for, let's see, I think it is this is the tank company. So that's the headquarters platoon for the tank company. And then we've got these tanks. They moved into the wood line right there. So I don't think any of those guys were spotted. And then we've got these dudes over here. So this guy, there's a Ford site right here on the river. You can kind of see it right there. he got bogged down, which means basically he lost all of his movement points. Next turn, he'll be able to exit this ford. But he got kind of slowed down by all the water, I guess you could say. And then the helicopter, the Hind, move up to here. He was spotted. So this area right here was clear line of sight. He's behind the hill right here, which he can't be seen. But when he passed in through there, he was spotted. So I haven't made the determination whether or not I'm actually going to shoot at the helicopter. Probably not, because he's a little too far away. This platoon of infantry was spotted. Or actually, this isn't infantry. This is the... it's a headquarters platoon. I've got a tank platoon in the village right here. They were spotted. And then we've got these guys here. They can't be spotted because of all these trees kind of block the line of sight. So what I'm going to do is Gary has the opportunity with these two Bradleys. And then, yeah, I think it's just those two Bradleys. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Ooh, they are in range. So these 3 Bradleys can shoot at this stack of BMPs. So let's see. We'll go ahead and roll to see if Gary is going to be patient and wait, or if he is going to go ahead and shoot. We'll give Gary a 50-50 chance. So if he rolls over a 50, so if he rolls 51 or higher, he will go ahead and order his guys to fire. So 52. So I just say 51 or higher, he'll order them to fire. So Gary's going to go ahead and shoot. So I'll go ahead and resolve all that and then get back and we'll see what happens. Okay, folks, so we've resolved the combat. 3 of Gary's platoon decided to fire. And you can kind of, let me get that stupid glare out of the way. There you go. So we had a range of 15, a range of 16, and a range of 19. With the TOW missiles, that is considered short range for all 3 of them. 56% chance to hit for all 3 of them, and all 3 was a big miss. So these guys got shot at, and somehow they got super lucky and did not get hit. So now we're going to move on to the next turn. We'll go ahead and roll for initiative and see who does what. All right, folks, howdy there. It's been a couple of weeks, so I don't know exactly where I left off on the previous, I don't want to say the previous video, but the clip that I'm going to attach this one to. So there might be some overlap. There might be some stuff that just totally doesn't make sense. But, you know, I built this nice 4x8. I got this 4x8 sheet of plywood. It's on a, see under here, I have it on a variable height desk. So right now this whole table is waist height, so I can stand up, which is kind of what I've been wanting to do. Is I like to, when I play games like this, I like to see, and then you can see that table just got tools and junk all over it, but I like to stand up. You know, sitting down is cool and all, but you know, every once in a while I like to stand up too. So I got that variable height desk, so depending on what I want to do, I can sit or stand. So right now I'm doing the standing portion of it. But so we have just conducted the, let's see here, let me get the book out here. So we have just finished, focus, I don't know why it's not focusing. There we go. So we have just finished the fire phase for both players. So, and then you can see on the map, I mean, you probably can't tell quite from this angle, but the only shooting that's been going on has been right here on this. Let's see, where's my arrow? So on the southwestern side, southwestern corner of the map has been the only firing that's taken place. The Soviets fired first. So we had these 3 tanks right here. They fired first. First tank fired at, let me see, that was a tow track. So it had the tow guided missile in it. It was the armored personnel carrier. So you can see there's a KO'd token right there. So these guys are no longer with us. Ryan, you took the first casualties of the battle. The next, there was 3 T-72s here. The next 2 T-72s fired at this tank right here, which is, let's see, it's 141. Do we have a name for that one? So that's Evil Ash. They fired at Evil Ash. Let's see who got killed. That was 236. 236 is the Ghoul. So the Ghoul is dead, or it's undead. So anyway, Evil Ash got shot at by both of these T-72s. So you can kind of see here the range was 17. All the modifiers had a cumulative -2 modifiers for both shots. Basically had a 40% chance to hit. One hit and the other one missed. The one hit was ineffective, and I believe because, if I'm not mistaken, let's get our cards out here. And I don't remember because this happened a while ago, so we were probably using the Sabot rounds, which that's the AP-FSDS, which, for those of you that want to know, that is armor-piercing, fin-stabilized discarding Sabot rounds, or Sabot for short, because that's a mouthful. They were firing at medium range with a penetration value of 86. And because this tank is sitting up on a hill, and these guys are at lower elevation, it is considered a rising shot. So if you hit the turret in the front on a rising shot with a kinetic energy round, which, if we look over here, that's kinetic energy, you need to, so a rising shot turret front, you need to have a penetration value of 118 or higher. Well, if we look over here, the penetration value for that round at that range is 86. So the round hit, but just kind of bounced off the turret. So I think I fired a Sabot round at it. I don't remember if I had fired a missile. If we had fired the missile. Actually, I think I may have fired the missile. So, we were using that one, the sniper missile. So that has 100. I don't remember. It's a long process, but let's just suffice it to say because I did this a couple of weeks ago, so I don't remember. But anyway, the hit was ineffective. The second shot was a miss. So when it came to the Allies' turn or NATO's turn, Evil Ash decided to fire back. So basically the same thing. So he had a range of 17. All the modifiers were -3, 35% chance, and he hit. So if you look, the American gun, the Rheinmetall gun, is actually a better gun. So medium range, we had a penetration value of 107. And it was a falling shot, hit the turret front. So we actually got lucky because the armor value for the T-72BA is 106. So we got it by one point over. So that was good enough for a kill. So you can see we've got, some flaming wreckage in that hex now. So that was it as far as all the firing goes. Now we'll go ahead and I'll do all the movement. And there, let me see. So the Russians, they have a lot of movement tokens. The chopper has an overwatch, but chopper firing rules are different. So he's got to be able to observe a target for like an entire turn before they can actually shoot. So he's just going to be sitting there watching the whole time, and then next turn he should be able to fire off some missiles at these dudes up on the hill, if they're still there. So we've got all the Russian stuff. They have move tokens on it. I elected to not. This guy had an Overwatch token. I could have probably shot here with my Overwatch, but I decided, you know what, I'll be patient and I'll wait and see what happens. Maybe Maybe some of these dudes over here will move into range, or some of these dudes over here will move into range. So we've got some Overwatch going on here. We've got Overwatch going on here. We've got Overwatch going on there. And then we've got these guys I think are going to pull off of this hill here. So anyway, movement's getting ready to come up. I'll be back shortly. All right, folks, we have just completed the movement phase. The second air phase, there's only one helicopter on the board, so he didn't do anything because he's trying to get that helicopter is trying to get, he's trying to be able to spot. So he's here and he's got to stay in the same spot unless there's a second helicopter that can spot for him, because ground, for whatever reason, ground units can't spot for helicopters. So he's got to stay here for an entire turn without doing anything. So he's sitting there. So anyway, so that's the second air phase, and then the adjustment phase, which is just like basically cleanup type stuff. So movement, we had, so this headquarters section moved to the top of this hill. This is a recon unit. They were here in this fort over here, so they moved out. I think they got bogged down in the previous turn, so that's kind of what's going on here. There we go. There's my little flaming wreckage token. So there's a burning tank in there. They didn't do anything, but all right. So we had these two infantry platoons. They moved forward to get into this cover right here. And see, this is, and I've talked about this before, but I mean, these hexes are just big enough for these big tokens. So this platoon of infantry took cover in the light woods. And then that platoon of infantry, I think that is, I want to say that's scrub. Let's see, what is it? No, it's brush. So there's brush and scrub in the game. So they get down to the granular level with some of this terrain. We had a little bit of moving going on here. So this is the headquarters platoon. So they moved across that bridge right there. And then we have Rob's guys. I decided to consolidate all Rob's guys into one spot. So it just makes it a little bit easier. Rob, if you want to move your dudes in different spots, that's fine. But you're going to have to let me know. I don't think I'm going to do another turn today. So you'll be able to kind of look at the map. You said you have it on Vassal, so you should be able to, hopefully you've got the right map sections on Vassal. But anyway, your platoon moved into this light woods right here. So there you go. You can see the light woods terrain. So we got all your guys in there. These guys moved forward one. It was hard going because I think that's woods. So you've got light woods, and then heavy woods. So movement is really slow in the woods. So they move forward one. This tank got bogged down on the ford and he didn't get a chance to get out of there. And then his other two tanks and the platoon moved to here. And then the light green platoon, let me see, what are these guys? I think. All right, so that's an infantry platoon. Yep. Infantry platoon moved forward. So they're trying to get up there so they can see what's going on up there. So that was the Russian move. The Americans had, so we had a couple guys on Overwatch. So there were some guys that were on Overwatch here. I decided to not shoot. I don't think they could actually shoot anything because these guys were blocked by all this heavily wooded terrain here. And I don't think that I think these intervening woods hexes made it to where these guys couldn't be spotted. But this platoon here, they were in a perfect position to fire on these guys right here. So basically, we're looking at ranges of 18, 19, and 20. They used their TOW missiles, had a 63% chance to hit. Every single one of them hit, and the results were kind of disappointing. So we had a no damage, we had a track hit, and then we also had another no damage. But when you get hit, even if no damage is caused, you always have to check to see if the occupants of the vehicle bail out. That includes the vehicle crew, and that also includes any passengers. So the first one, the passengers bailed out, so they're sitting in that stack. The vehicle that got hit, that took the track hit, everybody bailed out. So if the crew bails out, then the passengers automatically bailed out. So the crew bailed out, and then the passengers bailed out. And in this game, when crew bail out, you can't get back in the vehicle. So that's, and effectively, for all intents and purposes, the vehicle is destroyed. It's not really destroyed, but the vehicle was destroyed because you can't get back in it. And then the third vehicle, everybody decided to stay put. So everybody stayed put. So basically, we destroyed a vehicle out of that exchange right there. Threw a bunch of missiles out in the air and managed to destroy one vehicle. So that's kind of the setup right there. Let's see, the glare is not quite so bad now that I've got the table moved, but all right. So Rob, your guys are right here. And let's see, here we go. So that kind of gives you an idea, minus the sun being right there. That kind of gives you an idea of where you can go. This bead is kind of the limit of normal line of sight from those guys over there. So that's Ryan's guys that are over there. But you have to wonder, is Ryan going to stay on that hill or is Ryan going to move? So those are the thought process that you can kind of think about. So I don't know if Ryan, if you're still on moving around the country doing great things for America, but so your guys are here. So if you want to still leave the control up to me, or if you want to shoot me an email saying, hey, I want to move off the hill, then being on high ground like that's golden terrain right there. So you can make the decision if you want. So that's what you're looking at right there. And then of course we've got Gary. Oh, did I mention? I don't know if I mentioned that. So Gary's guys, they were sitting up on this hill, but we got all these guys coming down the pike, so they decided to back off the hill. So they're actually behind. Both of these guys are behind the hill, so they can't be hit from these guys over here. All right, and then Louis stayed put, and then of course Darkwing stayed put as well. So these guys were just being very defensive, I guess, and decided to get down off the hill, which in retrospect, the way the orders work is, let's say, you have a move. You can't even see that. If you have a move or a fire token, they're placed face down. So if you're playing another opponent, you're going to see that there's a command on the vehicle, but you don't know what it is. So it's kind of like there's a little bit of bluffing involved in there, but when you're playing by yourself, you kind of know what all the commands are. So had these guys actually known what tokens and how far they were going to move were going to be on there, they probably would have stayed put on top of this hill, because this is good terrain right here. But they backed off, lived to fight another day. So anyway, there we go. That is the end of turn 2. So I'll go ahead and clean up the map. I don't think I'll play any more today. And the chances of me actually playing, I'll be gone for 2 days this week, so probably won't play till, in fact, I think I might be, probably next weekend. I may possibly get another turn, but, that'll give you guys, that are watching, that have platoons on the map, if you want to. I know it's kind of hard unless you have Vassal to kind of know what to do and where to go and all that, but if you have any input, just let me know, and then we'll go from there. All right. Enjoy the rest of your all the weekend.